I left a message. I said, Rita, honey, I said, you gotta call somebody. You gotta tell somebody where you're at.
Her friend had called me and said, we think she's missing.
Footprints of life have stopped. Things aren't looking great for Reita Jordan being found alive.
With no answers, her family says they're desperate.
We're here because we love our sister and nobody else is looking for her, so we feel that we have to.
We have some theories, some ideas, but we want to eliminate people.
He takes her cell phone and sends a text message to her friend saying, gone in town.
When it was first all going down, you went and you checked his house, you had warrants for his house, and I remember saying, check the work truck.
There are like 2 hours left or so. They decide, let's bring Rita's mother, Donna Jordan, into the interview.
I forgive you. And she went in and she kept her composure and confronted him.
Do we believe everything that he told us about how things went down? No, we don't.
Welcome to Crime Beat. I'm Anthony Robart. In the spring of 2013, 34-year-old Reita Jordan vanished without a trace. When she first disappeared from her home just outside Halifax, Nova Scotia, investigators found themselves facing a troubling mystery. No crime scene, no witnesses, and no indication of what had happened to her. But as investigators dig deeper into Rita's disappearance, they uncover a trail of lies and deception and the terrifying lengths someone went to hide their brutal crimes. Here now is Gone in Town.
Back in 2013, this was the residence of Paul Calnan. It was his family home where he lived with Reita Jordan at the time. Normal type house, 2-car garage that's detached. Probably about 20 minutes from Halifax, downtown. It's a nice, quiet neighborhood. You'd never know that something tragic happened here.
Reita Jordan has been missing for 30 days.
As a result of their investigation, there's still a lot of questions that are not answered, with the big one being, where is she? They've checked possible locations, bank records, private residence, numerous things, but still no answer to where she is. If you have any information surrounding any activity, whereabouts of Miss Jordan, the investigators are more than open to speaking with you.
Rita's family declined an on-camera interview, but I did speak with her sister, who says that Rita is very much loved and missed, that she's never gone missing like this before. Concern is growing.
I was texting her, no answer. Calling her phone, messenger, no answer. This is Rita just looking like a baddie. She was just beautiful. Never had to do much. It's just natural. Bold, beautiful, strong, crazy, some would say. Center of attention.
Did she get in trouble? Did she go away somewhere? Maybe she just didn't want to be found. We're talking to her family members to find out, like, when did people actually last talk to her, see her?
I talk to her all the time on Messenger. So March 10th, it was the usual. We used to play games on Facebook and she would be like, send me this. And I would just send her to play her games, just normal stuff.
Generally missing person cases, they don't usually take very long. Most of them are solved fairly quickly, within a day or so. They usually get found. Rita Jordan's case was a little different.
Yeah, she did it often. She would go for a week, come back. Most of the time she would message me, so whether it was for a game or going to Mom's later, there was always activity on there from her to me.
We want to build a timeline. We want to look at social media. We want to look at her phone records. We want to talk to people that know Rita Jordan.
This is just a general statement, and we're going to talk about a girlfriend of his by the name of Rita Jordan.
We learned that she's living with a guy named Paul Calnan.
And how old are you, Paul?
I'm 50.
He's an older male, a little bit older than Rita, maybe 15 years or so. And she's living with him in Hammonds Plains.
She was with him for a while and would talk very highly of him, how she's addicted to Paul, and she was so happy.
Can you tell me, Paul, how long you've known Rita?
It's about 7 years, I would say. She would say, I had her at hello. And I said, yeah, you got me at hello too.
She wasn't living with him right away, actually. She just like hung out with him a lot. He came to pick her up a lot.
He's a professional guy. He's a plumber. Nothing really out of the ordinary with him. He's divorced.
What's the last day you saw her? No.
It would have been Monday morning. Calling her 3 times a day and twice in the evenings. Like I told you there earlier, it was Thursday when her phone was open for voicemail. So I left a message. I said, Rita, honey, I said, you gotta call somebody. You gotta tell somebody where you're at.
Her friend had called me and said, we think she's missing.
Her best friend, Krista Andrews, she had not heard from Reita Jordan in approximately 10 days or so.
She had already filed a missing persons, and they said they're not going to do anything because we haven't really called. They needed somebody that, like, family, I guess. So I was like, okay, well, yeah, I'll call. If you haven't seen her, we haven't seen her. So I put in a report.
It was March 28th, 2013. Unfortunately, police were 10 days behind the last time somebody's talked to Rita.
I mean, I was so happy when Krista called me up. She says, I'm gonna call missing persons. I said, yeah, please do. She asked me, well, why didn't you call? I said, well, okay, if she left and her clothes were all there. I said, well, okay, someone abducted her. When she left with all her clothes and stuff, well, she found somebody that is going to take care of her better than I did. I don't know. I mean, Rita's a part of my life too, but what she was into and stuff like that, and, you know, like, I don't know, I just trying to keep my good appearance, I guess. You know what I mean?
There were some flags with her type of lifestyle, unfortunately. I actually met her on patrol in my early patrol days in downtown Halifax.
Just an all-around wonderful person that battled addiction. It usually happens to the best of us.
I'm not sure how things started for her in that world, but then she got involved with, like, harder drugs. She had worked prostitution, walking the streets. All those things are risk factors for us in the police world.
I had picked her up one evening. November 2010 is when my wife left me. And then it was February 2011, Rita first spent a night with me. Previous to that, it was just, I would call her up and
Make a meet.
make a meeting, whatever.
So she would be classified as a vulnerable person. She wasn't out there hurting people.
I thought, oh, she's out doing her thing, which was maybe a dark night binging, or who knew. But right away, I really didn't feel like she was met with foul play, or I didn't think that.
Police investigated it for the first while as a missing person, and that's important because if all you have to do to get away with murder is get rid of the body, then that's going to be the end of it, isn't it?
Welcome back to Crime Beat. It's been several weeks since Reita Jordan was last heard from, and investigators are now working to reconstruct her final known whereabouts and determine who she was with. Aware that Rita had been intermittently involved in the sex trade, Halifax police are worried for her safety. We now return to Dawn in Town.
This is your Aunt Rita and Papa and Sebastian in the INCU in the hospital. This is when she was 16. When she had her first kid, I was only 12. She was 16. He was always with his father. One of the things Rita taught me was to not trust anybody and know my surroundings at all times. She taught me how to fight, taught me how to be rough around the edges.
So you left for work that Monday morning at 6, and Paul was still there with her.
Mm-hmm.
So she has clients, and we start to learn some of those names.
She got up and see me to the door. She said, that's Paul's car out in the driveway.
We learned that Paul Moulton, who is a close friend of hers, he stayed overnight smoking crack with Reita Jordan at the house where she lived with Paul Callan. And Paul Callan was home that night as well. So that's 17th of March, leading into the 18th.
So, okay, you're out working all day. What did you find when you come home?
He told investigators that he worked till about 6 o'clock at night.
Well, I got in the door and said, hey, Rita. And I didn't get no answer. The kitchen was cleaned up. Then I went downstairs.
Rita was not there, and her belongings were gone.
Jesus Christ, where'd she go? So I go back upstairs, and there's no sign of her boots anywhere. Jackets are gone. So then I called Paul up. And I said, Paul, I said, you hear, you don't know where Rita went to?
There's also a drug dealer that came by in the afternoon that Paul Moulton told us about.
He said, no. He goes, I left around 3 o'clock.
He did confirm that he went out to the Hammonds Plains residence, and Paul Moulton was there and Reita Jordan was there, but she was fine when he left.
And she was outside in your garage, cleaning the bench off.
So there's a little window in there of like 3 o'clock, mid-afternoon, Paul Moulton sees her, and then 6 o'clock, Paul Cowan comes home and she's gone.
So from the 19th forward, you haven't had any
No
contact with
her whatsoever.
Phone.
So one thing we do in missing person investigations is we send out media releases that we're looking for somebody, that they're missing, if the public has information to contact us. So we were getting some information, like she went to Newfoundland with somebody, she was seen at the liquor store, she was seen on a bus. We tracked down these people, we crossed those off the list as not valid. The Vice unit starts checking with CBSA. Did she leave the country? Did she take flights? Crossing all those things off the list. There's no record of her leaving the country. She's not in hospital. She's not in jail. She just disappeared. The Vice unit, they were able to get some preliminary phone records back.
And as far as you know, she didn't take the phone with her, but you don't have it.
No, I didn't see
Can't
anything.
find it.
I like to call it footprints of life have stopped. March 18th. Her cell phone towers were in the neighborhood where she lived with Paul Cowan. That's where she was on the 18th, the 17th. It didn't move all over the place. Everything's coming back to March 18th. Things aren't looking great for Rita Jordan being found alive.
With no answers, her family says they're desperate. So today, they took it upon themselves to keep looking.
We're here because we love our sister and nobody else is looking for her, so we feel that we have to. We would anyways.
This was her last whereabouts, and so we decided this area would be the first we would check.
The sisters say they're frustrated with police, who they feel have simply given up.
Because we're all anxious. We're all wanting to know. We all had questions. At the time, yes, it feels like it goes like molasses. Like nobody's doing anything for you, nobody's there.
Public's perception was like, oh my goodness, this took like a long time for this to get to homicide investigation look at things. They should have done that right off the start, right? And this was an integrated investigation with Halifax Regional Police and Royal Canadian Mounted Police. But this isn't a normal homicide investigation. We don't have a body.
No body at this time, but that's it's still very much an active investigation.
I know that they're diligently working on this case.
Meanwhile, her family is holding out hope. They say what they really want is closure and to find out what happened to the young mother.
If anybody anywhere knows anything, they need to speak. She's a human being, doesn't matter of her past. She's loved by a lot of different people.
We have some theories, some ideas, but we want to eliminate people, cross them off the list. And one of those ways we can do that is through polygraph. We still had Paul Moulton, Wade Weeks, and Paul Cowan all in the mix. Wade Weeks was a close friend of Rita Jordan. They were probably in some kind of relationship also at some points in time, but they were friends. So we offered a polygraph to Wade Weeks. He came in and his results were truthful in what he told the police. We did polygraph with Paul Moulton. He came in, did a polygraph. Again, he was truthful. Then it came to Paul Cowan next. We offered Paul a polygraph. And the results of his polygraph were deceptive.
Back on the 18th, Monday there, when you come home from work, everything, her stuff was gone except what we saw in the laundry there today, and then she forgot to take the stuff in the laundry, I guess. Her mother thought it was a little odd that she took everything. I think Emily was talking to you and you told her that.
Yeah.
And they said, you know, like she's been in a lot of places, and when she finds another guy, she's ups and goes, she doesn't take anything with her. So they thought there's something wrong, right?
It's time to search Paul Cowan's house where Rita Jordan lived. Is there a crime scene there? We knew that Rita Jordan was last at the residence in Hammonds Plains Road. Did something bad happen in that house? So it was May 2013. The RCMP Forensic Identification Unit, they do the search for us. One of the investigators reached out to Paul Cowan. He brought the key to the investigator and turned over the key. They did not find anything of a crime scene, so nothing that showed like some kind of incident that happened in the house. And they looked outside and outside around the property and everything like that. And Rita was not at the house.
When it was first all going down, you went and you checked his house, you had warrants for his house, his property, but you didn't warrant his work vehicle when he was driving it. He came to give you keys, and I remember saying, check the work truck. Can you please check the work truck? Check the work truck.
We had nothing to really say that something might have happened in the truck kind of thing. Like, There's nothing that really gave us grounds to go look into vehicles.
Like, he was always in his work truck. Like, why wouldn't you check what he lives in? Goes to work in it every day.
So the first time I came to Paul Callan's residence, it was during the investigation. Started watching the residence a little bit. We did a canvass of the neighborhood, didn't tell us anything. Nowadays, there's a lot more doorbell cameras out there, but in 2013, it wasn't as popular as it is now. And there was one witness, a friend of Paul Callan. Paul Callan told them that he lied to the police. It was actually 3 o'clock when I got home, not 6 o'clock. Why would Paul lie about that?
You and Rita fight much?
Well, I mean, you have your arguments here and there, but nothing that...
Actually, Donna told me about a fight you guys had at their place.
But we're starting to get some pieces of evidence, the phone records. Everything's not so nice with Paul Callan and Reita Jordan.
So there were these text messages between Reita Jordan and her friend Wade Weeks. Can you help? Can you come get me? I got a plan. I got to get out of here. He put his hands on me. I don't think I'm safe here. Weeks, just got your message. Just let me know. Are you all right, sweetie? And we also have an indication that he was saying he would kill himself if she left him. And those are things you do see in cases involving intimate partner violence.
I'm sure you and Rita get a little violent at times.
No, not violent, no. No, I'd never hit a woman or, you know, never.
I think I'm going back to my mom's. What's going on? What happened? You around? Just let me know everything all right. Can't wait to see you. Did he hurt you? He tried. I'm tough though.
She called Mom and said I wanted to come home. And Mom feels horrible because she had my other sister staying there for the moment, and she said you could sleep on the coach, come sleep on the coach, and Rita was like, hell no. And then we haven't seen her after that, so there's a lot of guilt there. She was the oldest sibling. She most definitely was the band leader. Yeah. This is our sister group, 4 girls.
Too cute.
Rita being the oldest, me being the youngest. This is me. This is us going to school. First day of school, probably. The mullets. We were always teasing, yeah, like always playing, always putting on concerts. She would tell us how to dance and what we were doing, what parts. This was your Aunt Rita, the Christmas party in 2013, a couple months before. My last one with her probably was the most I remember, probably because we were older, and it was Shoot by Salt and Pepper, and it was Christmas morning. My little girl got a karaoke machine, and yeah, that was the last one. It was a blast.
So sometimes people lie by admission. He didn't mention anything about their relationship not going well. He knew that Reita Jordan was planning to leave him, that she didn't want to be with him anymore, and that he was a trick, and that she was planning to take some of Paul Callan's property. I'm talking to somebody now that will interested in buying the 4-wheelers. They're talking about the Corvette. Is there anything else of value in the garage? And Rita's like, no, there's no value there. I already have his gold. We don't really believe in coincidences, right? Like, she's gonna leave on the 18th and she disappears on the 18th.
Global News has learned Rita worked at this sporting goods outlet in Burnside. She left early this winter.
We would work night shifts 3 to 11 at Halifax together, and it would just be a great night. Just like using all the things that you're not supposed to use just to be funny, and like we were just having so much fun and singing songs from across the room just when we're doing the whole line work, and it was always fun. Never a dull moment. We grew up together, and we had a duplex on Duffer Street, and she rented the other side. We were always together. She had everything that she wanted at that moment, you know, and he didn't like that. He was no longer the one, so. She was working, she straightened her hair, got all her teeth fixed, she was beautiful, she was ready, and he wasn't.
Well, I mean, I was hoping she'd give me a call, right? Like, she took off on me before.
So investigators know they're going down the right path, we're looking at the right person. It's just figuring out, how are we gonna prove that Paul Callan's the person, right? So they do come up with an investigative plan to arrest Paul Callan.
Summer, I believe.
I was part of the arrest team, so we arrested him as he finished work. He was calm. We only have a 24-hour clock once we arrest somebody. He was gonna walk out the door in 24 hours. There's gonna be two things going on at the same time. We're gonna interview him and try to get him to tell us what happened. And we're going to have undercover operators with him when he's not being interviewed down in cells. Because sometimes people will talk and disclose details of the crime that they've been arrested for. Neither one of those things is getting us to admissions or a confession.
I think we would have did anything at the time. I think Mom was pretty desperate. I think we were all pretty desperate for any type of answer.
And then the interviewers have another idea. Bring in a family member of Reita Jordan. There are like 2 hours left or so. They decide, let's bring Rita's mother, Donna Jordan, into the interview.
Just time out.
And she went in and she kept her composure
Have to let go.
and confronted him.
And I know it was a mistake. But you have to help us get closure. I forgive you.
Knowing what she knows now, it makes her feel horrible because she said some things to him that weren't necessarily true, but she needed her daughter.
I know you must be so scared. You're a good man, Paul. You know what's right. You know right from wrong. And it's killing us, not knowing where she is.
Donna Jordan went into the interview room, sat down, and began interviewing Paul Callan, and asked him and begged him to tell her what happened.
Help her to understand. Help me understand.
She's sitting in front of you begging for her daughter, Paul.
I know she is.
Give her back.
I know.
Give her back, Paul. Today is the day.
Are you protecting somebody else?
And you have to understand a family member that's lost another, and then they go even farther and they go into a room only inches away from the person who was essentially a member of their family, went to birthdays and so forth, and talked to him about the details. So she has to be probably one of the strongest people I've ever met.
Let the words come out. She's right here, supporting you, sitting there, holding your hand, begging for you. Telling you she's not going to leave your side. She's not going to abandon you. We have to start together today.
Her ashes are in the lake down Sherbrooke, next to the buoy.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul. It's okay. It's all right, Paul. It's all right.
She couldn't even speak, and she said he burnt her. And then just cried.
He put her ashes at the lake in Sherbrooke, where Reita Jordan's family have a cottage. Went out to the buoy where the family would dive and swim, and he put her ashes in the water.
Welcome back. After a tearful confession to Reita Jordan's mother, Rita's boyfriend, Paul Callan, has admitted to disposing some of Rita's remains in a lake by their family cottage. Investigators must now determine if it was murder or an accident. Here now is Gone in Town.
The first time that I actually was inside the house was the day after Paul Callan was arrested in June. He agreed to come out with us and agreed to do a reenactment. He had been charged already with the murder of Reita Jordan and indignity human remains. He took us through his version of events, walked us through the house. It's sad to think that something terrible happened here to Reita Jordan. It's almost peaceful.
Rita!
And I'm there too. Remember, he's in custody, but he's not handcuffed in that. He's walking through, so.
There was at least 3 bags of good.
I'm there to make sure he doesn't try to escape or anything like that and to take part.
She's usually down in the bedroom, so I go, Rita.
So what we know is March 18th, Paul Cowling came home that afternoon. When he came home, her stuff was packed.
And I'm walking down. Oh no, probably here I say Rita, and her room is down here.
Goes downstairs, talks with Rita.
She was sitting over there on the computer, so I say hi to her.
So just for me to clarify, Paul, not to take you off track, are you guys arguing at this point in time?
Yes and no. Not fully arguing yet.
But you guys just shared some crack.
Yeah.
They come upstairs, they're arguing.
So I'm just going up the steps.
He found his laptop in her bags by the door. He found his gold ring that she was going to plan to take with him.
Now she's standing across from where Trevor's there.
Right here?
With her back to the steps. So as I'm going like this, she takes a swing at me, and I went like that.
He said it was a total accident. He said she was at the top of the stairs, she took a swing at him, and fell down.
Yeah, definitely her right hand.
So she takes a swing?
Yeah, and I go like that, and she fell backwards down the steps.
This way?
I'm not sure if it was backwards.
His version is that she swung at him and fell down the stairs.
Some very padded stairs, and at the bottom of the stairs, she died what appears to be instantly.
So then she's going down the steps, so geez, I run down.
Let's just go slow right here now. This is very important so that we can get clear. You notice that she's gone down over the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay? How far down does she go? Before we go down there, take me through what's down there.
She's to the bottom, like her feet are pointing up.
All the way around the turn.
Yeah.
Down here and then down again.
Yeah.
Right to the hardwood or the laminate flooring.
Yeah.
Down 4 stairs, turned down 2 more stairs, turned, fell down more stairs. Like, that was his version. She was dead at the bottom of the stairs.
Okay.
So your head is
well,
down.
I'm not sure how she was falling here, because I was ducking to get out of her way.
Yeah.
But when I got down here, her head was here.
Okay.
Her head was here, and her rest of her body was like up the steps.
Up the steps, okay.
When it gets to the details of what actually happened to Rita and how she died, it's more like he's pausing, thinking, because it doesn't flow smooth, right?
And I listened for a air out of her mouth, and there was none. So I tried resuscitating her, mouth to mouth. I'm going like this.
And you're pulling her up that
And
way.
I'm pulling her up. I did get her up here, and I checked to see if she was still dead or not.
They kept going back and saying,
So her head is this
I
way
wanted to check to
across.
see if she was really dead. You would think the normal response would be kept hoping that she was still alive. And you really want to know that you run up the stairs and you call 911.
Oh yeah, I'm talking to her, I'm slapping her in the mouth, and I'm listening for her air. I didn't actually check her pulse.
Okay.
Actually, yes I did, I checked her neck. So then from there, I took her and put her in the truck.
And then he outlined the details of what he did to dispose of her body. The person that he said he loved apparently died right before his eyes, and his reaction was to take her to the woods and dump her.
The day that Paul Cowling killed Rita, he put her in his blue truck in the front seat of the wheel well, wrapped up in a blanket. He drove around for a little while. That would match up with the cell phone last tower of Reita Jordan. And ultimately, Paul Cowling decided to take her body to Ingrimport, 10-15 minute drive at most. This would have been all gravel road. This is roughly the spot where we believe Reita Jordan was put. We never did actually find her remains here. And this would have been where he put her the day he killed her. Until he came back the next day, he could see her body, her elbow, so he moved her deeper in the woods. We never did find the exact spot, and unfortunately Paul Cowling changed his mind because we were going to come out this way and get us to show us exactly where he had put her. Somewhere along here. We'll never know exactly where. He had taken her belongings that she had packed up and had taken them out there and burned them. It was around this area over here by the power lines is where we found a couple little burn sites. The only thing that was left that we could find was pieces of metal, some pieces of the bags.
A month later, the police came to his door and said, "This is now a homicide investigation." Paul Cowling leaves that night, late at night, goes back to the spot where he disposed of Reita Jordan in the woods. He wraps her up in a tarp, he puts her in the back of his truck and drives out to Muscataba, which is completely another direction. He gets stuck, and while he has her body in the back, calls a tow truck. He continues on. He takes the body out and he burns the body in the woods. But the police call. He then puts the body out, wraps it up in a tarp, and drives back to his house where the police are. So they search the house. Paul Calnan says he waits till they leave, he takes the body into his backyard, and then he burns the rest of the remains.
He's taking chances of getting caught. Somebody could come over and see him in the backyard doing this, right? It shows me that he was motivated. Looking back, like, if he had the crystal ball, if you could have put surveillance on Paul Calnan, you would have got him going and getting the body later on. You would have got him going to Pleasant Valley, and you might have caught him with the body maybe, right?
And I just remember being so upset. Why wouldn't you have just said, listen, I need to check the vehicle? Now I'm without my sister.
The lead investigator and I, we did go to the family cottage in Sherbrooke with the RCMP underwater recovery team, and they were describing like pieces of the ashes and bone was in the water sitting up among the weeds, and they would go to try to get these ashes and they would just start to disintegrate in the water. But they were able to come up with a few pieces. They couldn't say 100% that it was human. There was no DNA that could have been extracted, but with Paul Calnan telling us where he put her ashes and remains, there was no doubt that what we did find eventually, that was what was left of Reita Jordan, unfortunately.
How does a human do it? I don't even know how it was possible that we don't have a single stitch of her to bury. Well, that's why we have graveyards, right? So people can go and mourn and talk to their loved ones. We don't have anything. So something would be nice. Yeah, we haven't been able to do anything.
He went far beyond what anybody could even imagine somebody would do to hide a body. And we asked ourselves, why?
Who would go into these extreme lengths to get rid of a body if it was an accident, right?
There was something about that body that he needed to destroy down to bone and ash.
There was something about that body that said she didn't fall accidentally down the stairs that would convict him of second-degree murder.
Obviously, we had a lot more questions, but we had to get him to court. Investigators weren't done with Paul Calnan. Like, he had more information to tell us.
Welcome back. Paul Calnan admits to burning Reita Jordan's body, but maintains her death was accidental, claiming she fell down the stairs and died instantly. But police feel the lengths he went to get rid of her body tell a much more sinister story. We now return to the conclusion of Gone in Town.
Today was the first day of testimony in the second-degree murder trial for Paul Trevor Calnan. The Crown had the chance to give its opening arguments this morning. Calnan has pleaded guilty to indecently interfering with human remains, but not guilty to causing Jordan's death.
And I'll never believe a story that's told to me, ever, because my sister isn't here to tell me that. It's not enough for me because I didn't really like him. The way he looked at you through his glasses, never liked him.
Nearly a dozen members of Jordan's family were on hand for the opening day of the trial. The Crown plans to call dozens of witnesses and introduce a variety of evidence as part of their case.
There was his defense that he took cocaine, his brain was fueled by coke and he wasn't thinking clearly. But what he did was very calculated.
Each time I looked at that fact that he said he was high on drugs, it was almost laughable that somebody could say that. The next day you go to work, I'm working with tools, I don't think I'm so high that I'm still panicking. And certainly he was thinking well enough when the police came asking the first time about a missing persons. He seemed relatively calm and cool there and was able to lie to them. He was calm and cool certainly just after the homicide when he called a friend to say, I haven't seen Rita, do you know where she is?
You're probably the last person that was with her.
I wasn't the last person with her.
And we're not talking over a couple minutes, a couple hours, or a couple days. This is a long period of time for somebody to reflect about the person they love.
Very shortly after the incident, he takes her cell phone and sends a text message to her friend, Wade Weeks, saying, "Gone in town." You can see after the fact that he is putting in place what he's going to try to make his defense so quickly after he kills her. He was taking rational steps to hide what he had done.
Paul Calnan, I think, definitely used crack cocaine after Rita Jordan was dead. That's probably his coping mechanism for the things he was doing. We don't believe that he was high on cocaine, crack cocaine, when he killed her.
This was the scene outside of Paul Trevor Calnan's home. Forensic unit sifting through the wooded area just behind Calnan's house.
The police did an excellent job of going over the crime scene. If she indeed died inside that house, we don't know for sure.
We did involve the medical examiner on a couple fronts. Nothing's ever 100%, but the type of fall that Paul Calnan described Rita Jordan taking, it's very, very, very unlikely that that would end in instant death, because there's no evidence that there's damage to walls. And it's not a straight staircase, 10 steps straight down kind of thing.
May have been different. If you're talking about somebody on a straight shot, 14 stairs down, you know, at the bottom is concrete. The police went over those stairs. There wasn't any evidence at all that somebody had fallen down those stairs, and no blood, no marks on the wall. When you go down the first set of stairs, somebody going down those stairs would have hit that wall with some force. There was nothing to indicate that that wall had been fixed. Then the next wall, only a couple stairs down. Once again, no blood on the stairs, and they went over every inch.
I don't think it was any kind of blood-related trauma, because if there's any amount of bloodletting, like, it's very, very difficult. If it's like blunt force trauma or serious amounts of bleeding, like a stab wound, or you were shot or hit with objects, like, it's very, very difficult to clean up all that blood. Or we would know, like, well, something's missing here, or the carpet was torn up, or there's evidence of cleanup. There was none of that. It's more likely close contact, strangulation. End of the day, we did not have a body.
Making headlines today after 3 weeks of graphic testimony and 4 days of intense deliberations, the verdict in a high-profile murder case is finally in. Natasha Pace has the latest in the trial for Paul Trevor Calnan.
Emotion filled Nova Scotia Supreme Court this morning as the family of Reita Jordan heard the news they've been waiting 3 years for.
Jury found him guilty of second-degree murder and indignity of human remains, and he got sentenced to life in prison. Yeah, second degree, I believe, was the appropriate charge. There was nothing really substantial to say that he was planning on killing her.
In addition to the mandatory life sentence, he imposed a concurrent 5-year sentence for indecently interfering with human remains.
All the waiting was worth it, and justice has been served.
These are tears of relief. The only thing is, I wish that would bring my daughter back, but it never will. But at least for her,
she'll rest now.
She'll rest now.
The Jordan family was present every day of the 3-week trial, desperate for closure in Rita's death.
Yesterday it was terrible, but today is great. I'm so happy.
I think the thing that stood out the most about the case was Donna Jordan. I can't imagine what she went through during this trial.
Rita was my firstborn. She was a caring, loving, beautiful, curly-haired girl that we miss very much. She was a beautiful human being, and we remember everything about her, and she's still with us. She'll always be with us.
The family wore purple ribbons to court in memory of Rita.
Purple is against domestic violence, and so that's why we wear them.
What you see more recently is all of society getting more involved in realizing just what a plague this is and the incredible seriousness that can come, the outcome that Reita Jordan faced.
Whatever they may or may not have said about Rita Jordan, in intimate partner violence, it never justifies the level of violence at any point in time. She packed her bags, she was leaving, which she had a right to do, and he didn't like that, and she was killed because of it.
We never ever thought he was capable of doing such monstrous things. Like, we didn't believe it until.
The Calnan family did not wish to speak following the sentencing, but the defense confirms they will be appealing the murder conviction.
There's 30 days from today, basically, to file the appeal, so it'll definitely be filed before the 30 days is up.
I would say about 20 seconds after the verdict, I knew that they were going to appeal based on our use of the after-the-fact conduct and how the jury used it to convict him.
Reita Jordan's family had been hoping that a guilty verdict would mark the end of their ordeal. But with the appeal, Rita's family worried her accused killer could go free.
The primary ground of appeal for Mr. Calnan was the use of what's called after-the-fact evidence. And after-the-fact evidence is anything that the accused says or does after the commission of the offense.
But Paul Calnan's lawyers argued it should not be allowed as a way to prove intent. The majority of judges sided with them and decided to overturn the conviction, ordering a new trial on the lesser charge of manslaughter. However, one of the three judges disagreed.
In this case at the Nova Scotia Court of Appeal, it was a split decision, and that's why this case and the decision out of the Supreme Court of Canada is influential, why it's precedent-setting, is because it really clarified how courts could use after-the-fact conduct to help make their decision about innocence or guilt. Prior to this case, the Supreme Court of Canada had always been consistent that we could use evidence of after-the-fact conduct. However, some of the lower courts were getting away from that, in which they were limiting it, that they were trying to say it would be neutral as to intent.
It is the extraordinary nature of that and the risks that Mr. Calnan took in that lead to an inference of intent here.
And the position that we took was that this was highly relevant. The danger would be that if this evidence wasn't indicative of intent, that if it was somehow neutral and we'd never be able to get it in, that you would be able to commit the perfect murder if you were just able to completely destroy the body. And that simply can't be the case.
Many, many, many nights at Mom's, talking about it, crying about it, watching the news together. Yep, many, 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 many nights. I just remember every single trial was horrible. I had to listen to it over and over.
There was a very real possibility that they would be faced with another trial.
Thank both counsel for your very helpful and able submissions. We'll take this matter under reserve. Thank you.
With the decision of the Supreme Court of Canada, the conviction was reinstated and the matter was finally closed.
The jury didn't believe him and the Supreme Court of Canada didn't believe him.
I mean, we were more happy that he got what he deserved. He deserves much more, but yeah, it was a good day.
It continues to be an important case. Here's a woman who's working, she's trying to make a life for herself, she's trying to change her circumstances that she was in with Mr. Calnan, and he killed her.
And then this is our family picture. But yeah, there was no worry then. We didn't know that cruel things were in the world. And if it was, it only happened in the movies. So right there, we were pretty content. We were pretty damn happy. As you can see on both my parents' proud faces. I want her to be remembered how everybody remembers Rita. She was beautiful, kind. She had anybody's back. She was rough around the edges. She was smart and wise. Reita Jordan was Reita Jordan. She was just a beautiful person.
We reached out to Paul Calnan in prison to ask if he had anything more he wished to reveal about what happened to Rita, specifically where her family may find any more of her remains. He declined to speak with us. And so Rita's family remains without answers, finding solace only in the memories of Rita from happier times. Thank you for joining us tonight on Crime Beat. I'm Anthony Robart. Want more episodes of Crime Beat? Listen to the Crime Beat podcast, now for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcast. And for past episodes of Crime Beat, go to the Global TV app, visit globaltv.com, or check out our Crime Beat YouTube page.